In 1944, when Harry Gibson defined hipsters as characters who like hot jazz, he could hardly have imagined the ways in which his addition to the American English vocabulary would be used. Why can't you listen to normal music, you hipster? You look so good, you little hipster. I hear Reed is a hipster college. The Urban Dictionary defines hipsters as men and women typically in their 20s and 30s that value independent thinking, counterculture, progressive politics, and appreciation of art and indie rock, creativity, intelligence, and witty banter. But Urban Dictionary is kind of mainstream, so we went to the Hipster Handbook where this definition can be found. Hipster: one who possesses tastes, social attitudes, and opinions deemed cool by the cool. The hipster walks upon the masses in daily life, but is not a part of them and shuns or reduces to kitsch anything held dear by the mainstream. A hipster ideally possesses no more than 2% body fat. Just to be sure, we asked some resident hipsters to try to define this subculture for us.
We are here with Lisa Borst and Jacob Smith to find out what they think about hipsters as a subculture. Lisa, how would you define a hipster?
I think it has different connotations. If you say it negatively, then you're talking about someone who tries too hard to be cool and different. But positively, it could mean someone with good taste in stuff like music and movies and things.
Yeah, I would say sort of the same thing. A lot of people perceive hipsters as just a group of people that are really lazy and try and be as try as hard as they can to look like they're not trying. But I don't think that's really what it should be. It should just be a group of people that all have really good taste in music and stuff.
What do you think a hipster is?
I think a hipster is someone who has appreciation for things that other people don't notice or appreciate, and I think there's a lot of different kinds of hipsters.
So would you two consider yourselves hipsters? Why or why not?
I'd say no, because I'm too mainstream, but I have an okay taste in music and everything, and then I dress like a cross-country runner, so that's my problem.
Do you think you're a hipster?
No.
Do hipsters inhabit a specific cultural region? These maps show the hippest parts of the U.S., with Minneapolis, Minnesota in first, and Brooklyn, New York second. Artistic urban centers like Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco, California are the main hipster hubs. How did Minneapolis make the list? Juno was filmed there.
Do they have their own language? Can you decipher? I thought that tassel was going to be Deck, but she's so thin. I heard on the clothesline she's giving our Cronkite the Frigadaire for some Frotto. Pass me a Bronson. Common hip lingo includes Deck for cool and Fin for lame. They can frequently be heard referring to things as POMO, which means postmodern. Don't ask us what postmodern means. It seems like they can apply it to anything.
What do hipsters wear?
A lot of hipsters wear clothes that a lot of people wouldn't wear, people think are weird, but then eventually the trend catches on and then the hipsters don't want to wear it anymore because they don't want to do anything that anyone else does. But I'd say mostly Urban Outfitters, some Anthropologie up in there, speaking for girls of course, and then Goodwill. Goodwill is a hipster paradise.
What do hipsters wear? Dress is one of the most defining features of hipsters, and more, traditionally hipster style is becoming mainstream. Hipsters like to layer with large, unflattering tops and scarves, and skinny jeans. Their hair is generally long, asymmetric, and unkempt because they spend most of their time trying to make it look like they spent no time on it. Like the dwarves of Middle Earth, males and females are hard to tell apart from the back.
Alright, this is hipster room. Lots of pictures on the walls. And lots of infinity signs.
Is their diet different from mainstream America? Many hipsters are vegetarian or vegan. They want to eat healthy, but they are too poor. They drink Pabst Blue Ribbon beer and black free trade coffee. The hippie influences in their culture lead many not to eat meat, yet fur is making a comeback in their dress. What gives, hipsters?
What are their rites of passage? When little teenage hipsters graduate, they go to a liberal arts college to study some form of the arts. Things like literature, photography, 3D art are all smiled upon. One rite of passage is the hosting of one's own kitchen show party, in which lots of people gather in your tiny apartment and sway non-committally to a local upcoming band, which is playing the gig for no pay, of course, since you can't put a price on art.
So I was wondering if you could describe your taste in music.
Good.
I'll go first. I used to back in the 6th and 7th grade and stuff. I had terrible taste in music. I listened to Linkin Park all the time.
That's unfortunate.
I thought it was really cool. But then I listened to Vampire Weekend and stuff and started having better taste in music. They were my first good band that I listened to a lot. And now I have a lot of blues influence. I've listened to a lot of 50s and 60s.
Okay,
and
cool.
some 30s blues, and then also listen to some folk and anti-folk and psychedelic folk and everything.
What are the artifacts that our kids will think of as being from the hipster generation? These include your Tumblr account, but Tumblr does not a hipster make. Records, European cigarettes or parliaments, copies of Vice and Clash magazines, film cameras for taking artsy photos, and fixed gear bikes for getting around in a semi-urban environment.
But now for the true test. All of these characteristics are pretty well-known descriptions of people we consider to be hipsters. But is there actually an underlying philosophy that binds these people as a real subculture?
What mentefacts, beliefs and values, do hipsters share? Hipsters believe in individualism and self-expression. They supposedly were created by the educational reform push to put students at the center of the education system and to make them feel special, individual, and important. This occurred in the mid-1980s when our hipster demographic was in elementary school. Hipsters also, quote, make a virtue out of poverty, celebrating their situation because it keeps them from getting swept up in the mainstream materialism. They often spend lots of money trying to make themselves look homeless.
What about sociofacts? How does the society function? Being a good hipster is about knowing the right people, since all the coolest information passes along the clothesline by word of mouth.
Where do you go to find new music?
In real life or what website?
Both. All of the above.
I don't know, I have friends who like music and things. Jacob will tell me about bands, or my boyfriend will tell me about bands because he spends all his time downloading music all the time.
So a lot of it is by word of mouth?
Yeah.
Cool. And where do you go to listen to new bands?
FAA, yeah. This thing in downtown Fredericksburg All Ages, which Lisa and I are actually a part of. They set on concerts twice a month or something, and you can go. It's $5 to go and see 4 bands. 2 of them are usually local, and then 2 out of town bands. So it was really cool. Good experience.
It is hard for people to ever belong in the society if they work a 9-to-5 job. Quitting your job, having your parents pay off your student loans, and working as an artist is the quickest way to jump into hipster culture.